Okay, time to review some samples from Kimberly now. Now that I've already talked about my purchases, when she first sent me my order, she did me the very, very generous favor of sending me some other things to sort of entice me along to maybe buy some more in the future, which she absolutely didn't have to do at all, since I will be coming back. But I wanted to show you the actual scents, and then show you some of the notes so I can describe them. I can't really do. I'm not really going to talk too much in detail about each one. I just kind of want to give you a scent breakdown and a general impression of each one. So I'm going to fit 4 into one video. Here's Eastwood Current. Eastwood Current has Black Currant Absolute. It has Blonde Nicotine-Free Tobacco Absolute. It has a butter note, I guess, butter CO2. Champaka CO2. CO2, by the way, is just the way the essential oil is extracted from the material. So this is CO2 extraction, which is usually done under not terribly extreme conditions, close to room temperature. If I remember correctly, coriander seed select oak moss absolute benzoin rooibos, which is I think are the twigs and leaves of a plant that is common in Africa, and they actually make into tea, which has this very sort of medicinal, nutty, slightly fruity flavor. That's not a note you find very common in perfumery these days. Gentle Rose de Mai, Violet Leaf Absolute, Sandalwood, Amber Oil Agarwood or Oud, Myrrh, Vanilla, and Patchouli. So you can tell what kind of fragrances I like, especially if you watch the last video. I mean, you have oak moss, coriander, sandalwood, amber, oud, myrrh, vanilla, patchouli. That's my thing. Okay, so with Eastwood Current, what I get, and I do just kind of want to open it, I get something really resinous and dusty and slightly spicy. I can smell the oak moss on it too. I would call this, if I had to classify it as a perfume, probably a woody oriental. The spices, I mean, the coriander is noticeable, but there's also a very sort of distinct tobacco, and just the whole thing. It's blended together. It's really hard to pick out individual notes, but the dry down of the sort of the wood, amber, oud, myrrh, patchouli thing is definitely there. Of the samples, this might be my favorite one. It's very much like the other two, like Bogart and Pacino. So if you like those sort of sets of notes, you might want to check out that one. Okay, next I want to save Kaleidoscope and Madame Chocolat for last. Yeah, Gable. Another sample I got from her was Gable 1941. There you go. And Gable 1941 has botanical combinations of essential oils containing Hay Absolute from France, blonde nicotine-free tobacco, tobacco absolute, Nagarmotha, caramel, sandalwood, beeswax absolute, green tea tincture, rum, beeswax tincture, dark patchouli, Indian vetiver, vanilla, bitter almond, cocoa, cafe arabica. Arabica being a kind of coffee bean, of course. Vanilla planifolia 26, along with other fragrance components, and suede leather oud ambrox. Of course, suede leather oud and ambrox, and that belongs in every perfume ever to be made, in my humble opinion. But what do I get from this? I actually tried to make notes. Bless my heart. And you can sort of see how badly that went. So I'm just going to try to wing it, sort of tell you what pops up on my nose the most. Okay, so this is Gable 1941. It's so nice. I mean, it's just so masculine and so. I get hay. I get even some Nagarmotha, I think. Beeswax is definitely there. Green tea is definitely there. This is one of the fresher. Now, when I say fresh, I do not by any means mean marine or anything like that. It's less tobacco forward. It's less woody. The cocoa and the almond and the vanilla are just a little bit lighter. I think this would be great for cooler weather, but I mean, even coming into spring, this would work wonders. Just lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. I might have to get a 8 mil of that sometime soon. Okay, so the next I have is Kaleidoscope. One of the two fragrances I've smelled from Kimberly that is not named after a movie star. This is Kaleidoscope. A Kaleidoscope has. Let me sort of put it on my skin first. It has notes of pink grapefruit, rooibos tincture, orris butter, amyris, saffron, violet leaf, patchouli, rose otto, which is basically just rose attar, essential oil of rose, chocolate, cocoa absolute to be precise, tuberose, green cognac, vetiver, vanilla, cedar, devana, Apopanax jasmine, beeswax absolute, and Himalayan amber. So what do you get? This is probably the most feminine of the 5 or 6 smells that I have smelled from her. Even this one is totally unisex. Oh, it just makes your eyes roll back in your head. You get a very light freshness on the top, and I think the grapefruit with the combination of the bergamot with the woodiness of the sort of over the woody patchouli rose it's like the best nostalgic smell of, I mean, if you were lucky enough to maybe, remember your grandmother, or your great-grandmother, it's the smell of her wedding day. It's the smell of her wedding day. It's the smell of her dress in a sandalwood chest after 3/4 of a century, with maybe a rose corsage that's never dyed. It's just beautiful. Oh, and I just picked up some jasmine. Okay, that might have to go on my list as well. I don't know how I buy food, but obviously I do. This is lovely. Yeah. It's absolutely wonderful. Again, one of the more feminine fragrances, still absolutely pull-offable by a man. Mostly because of that base. I would, for guys out there who may think that they don't like florals, I would give this a try. Definite, unavoidable jasmine in here, but something that is not going to put you off. And I think may even convince you that guys can do jasmine and do it very, very well. And maybe even convince you about rose too. Okay, so last but not least, I want to talk about Madame Chocolat. And here's Madame Chocolat. And even better yet, let me show you the big one that she sent me. Which is right here. There we go. Madame Chocolat. So, the notes. Madame Chocolat has bergaptine free bergamot, magnolia, organic tuberose, frangipani, beeswax superior, chocolate absolute, chocolate aroma, guaiac wood, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, 5-fold lemon tangerine, a ginger note, a carnation key accord, tonka, amber labdanum, vanilla bourbon CO2, vanilla plenifolia 26 CO2, vanilla absolute CO2, vanilla 12, and Tahitian vanilla. So, obviously kind of a vanilla forward scent. However, not really in a overly, sort of hit you over the head kind of way. Very, very nice. On top, what I get are kind of very, very well-behaved florals. I get a little bit of magnolia, a little bit of tuberose, a little bit of frangipani with some beeswax. And then, as it dries down, you get some more of that sort of complex, dry, dusty vanilla. This is maybe the one that, and you can probably tell from the notes, least like the others. Not necessarily the least masculine, because I think that that Kaleidoscope is probably the least masculine, but really, really, really lovely with the way it's able to blend florals with just all those woods and just a lovely, lovely dry down. I'm sorry I'm sticking this in my nose while I'm trying to talk to you, but I can't help it. Yeah, those are 4 samples. I apologize for the video being 15 minutes long. I try to make it as short as I can without compromising, at least trying to tell you something, a little bit of something about each one. Go out there, get some samples from her at the very least. I think if you honestly closed your eyes, you pulled up her her scent list and you pointed randomly and ordered, you couldn't go wrong. I'm saying that on the basis of having smelled about half a dozen ever since. I want to smell a lot more. I'm very interested in what she's doing. The woman is a chemist, really. It's interesting. She's always sort of tweaking her batches and doing things in very, very small batches, and you can tell she's a perfectionist. Which, of course, we all want that in a perfumer, right? She's your woman then. Go check her out. Certainly won't regret it. I'll talk to you later, guys. Bye.